thankfully, you know, I've got good people around me, and I just, yeah, man, like I thought, as when everything seems like it's going good, it's even like with last year and the COVID. You know what I mean? Like I've just started getting back on my feet and things are, and then boom, like, mate, like, you know what I mean? COVID's here now. There's another little setback. There's another little hurdle you got to try and overcome. But yeah, that comes with life, innit? That's life and its tribulations, and it's just depending on how resilient you are. And I've always found that I could say humbly that I am a very resilient person. And if I wasn't, then shit would have been different still. I need to make a movie on that, man. That whole situation.
Yeah, you really should. The reason why I thought that would be good to discuss was I remember speaking to you in Gambia, right?
Yes.
So I interact with people on whatever level we interact with, right? So if we interact on having a laugh, we're having a laugh. That's our interaction. When someone shows me a different level,
yeah,
I'm even more excited. I'm like, right, they're there. Oh, awesome, I can chat to them like that now. So I remember when I came to see you that time and you'd gone through a tough time. And usually when people go through tough times, such as myself, people know it's been online and whatnot. But it's only once you've gone through adversity do you realize there's so many more layers to you. Because most of the times you're moving on a surface level, right?
Yeah.
You build yourself up to, let's just say, a video game character, right? Your attributes are, you think your attributes are 100. And you've been operating at this level with success in your eyes, moving through the game easy, right? And then all of a sudden, bang, something happens, life. And all your stats have been removed. Now, you can't even pass level 1, which you do in your sleep. But what ends up happening is, with most people, is that 100% you thought you had was only 10% of what you was as a person. And as you went through that hard times, even though you thought you was 100, you've gone down 200, but the maximum bar has gone up to 1,000 now. And where you thought you was before, you realize, no, I needed that to get me to 1,000. So for me, when I was at your house and I was talking to you, like, you don't, like, I'm very observant. And you're talking, and then I think this was the bit where you said, if I can remember specifically, as you discussed and you was talking about the ordeal that you went through, and I heard it in your voice, and you was like, fam, I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was done out here. And you was like, but you know what? Someone above me has got me. Boom, boom. But you wasn't talking like with your chest out. You was talking like, nah, man. Like, I didn't even know that you was at your parents for 5 months. You didn't say that bit. But I could tell you had come from somewhere and, like, you're standing up. And that voice that came out of you was like, I went through the shit. I picked myself up. I'm here. What? Do you see what I'm saying to you? And to me, when you said, like, you didn't say it like that, obviously, but I heard that. And to me, once I heard that, I was like, oh, he's there. Okay, cool. And that's when I was just like, all right, cool, you're on that next part of your journey. So that's why when you said COVID, see how you laughed with COVID? You were like, man, like, COVID? Got hit by a car twice. COVID come, and I'm sure you was already further than what you was before, but COVID come, you're like, no, I got hit by a car twice. COVID? Whereas everybody else who COVID came, they was like, oh my gosh, I got to stay in my yard. You're like, what? I can edit videos. I can do this. Like, because you've already gone through something tough. So to me, hats off to you, bro. And, like, no matter what, just keep doing what you're doing. So going on to where you are now, because you started off making music videos, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did you get into the music bit?
Yeah. All right. So from early, even the thought of, like, when I went, like, me being the actor here, from early there's always these little thoughts like, because I knew, like, to be a great actor, you need to learn script writing, or you need to become a director or something like that. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'd love to be a director, but at the same time, a lot of doubt, like you can't be a director, man. Like, no one really makes it from the ends and becomes a, you know what I mean? We didn't really have directors like that. For like someone we could look up to and be like, oh yeah, man can make it. It was all these big names, and you know, from America, it was his other brothers, and it's just like, But yeah, so in the band, we got released from the label.
What was that like when you got dropped?
That was tough. That was tough still, because not because, you know, released from the kind of, you know, the major labels, because I always had this thing that, look, if one door closes, another's going to open.
Good.
You get it? I don't really care about, oh, it's a big major name, Universal or whatever. Like, man can go to somewhere else and do the same thing if I'd done it already. What was tough was I could see how it just broke up the group. It broke up the band internally, you know, relationships with management, just a lot of stuff. Like, it just broke, you know, a lot of people that I kind of lived with, and we toured the country, and you know, we spent a lot of time and worked together, and you know, like day in and day out with each other. You know, that was obviously coming to an end.
Mm.
And we're actually, like, you know, although I still stay in touch with a lot of them. You know, I'm not one to really burn any bridges over, you know, any stupidness, but like,
smart. That's very smart.
You know what I mean? But like, I just, it was tough in terms of that. And then I just had the idea. I was like, all right, cool. Well, what I found of being signed was I wasn't comfortable enough to have my own creative freedom. I wasn't comfortable enough to like say that I want to make this and create this and then release this at this time. Everything was the man in the suit, or, you know what I mean? Like, dealing with so many other egos and so many other people, and I was just like,
could I ask you a question to that? Would you say, and I'm gonna say it as real as possible. Do you think that's a ghetto mentality? The doubt that we sometimes have, like in terms of our upbringing, because we don't have no one. Like, for instance, I don't know your family, but I would guess there's no one in your family who was a director, right?
No one.
Uncle, cousins, anyone?
No one in any form or shape or way in the creative scene.
All right. So for me, as an athlete, it's the same thing. So literally, you've got no idea if it's possible.
Because there's no guidance. Who can guide you or help you or direct you?
So and that's the only reason. When you just said that, it just a aha moment went off my head. I was like, that's the same as sports for me. Like, I'm like, there's nobody. So, like, would you say if you had a mentor, and I'm asking this question as a way to project an idea out to the masses, and whoever takes this idea can run with it. But do you feel like if you had a mentor when you was younger, let's say you had an acting mentor when you was younger, and you was really keen on acting, they said to you, yo, P, hey, you see what you're doing? There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. But hey, listen, there's this, you can either read this book, or listen, we're going to do a workshop here, or hey, come, like, would that have helped a little bit?
100%. 100%. Because it's the problem is, finding what you want is obviously, it's navigating. You've got to like know how to get to that destination. And a lot of us coming from ends or coming from wherever, the only way we can see some sort of navigation is from what we see, what inspires us, like online or on TV or whatever. But that's all smiles and that's all this and that's all that. But you don't know like the ins and outs. You don't know the blood, sweat and tears, or what they had to do day in, day out, or to go here, to go there, to get to where they are. And having a mentor, I have a mentor now, and like I've had a mentor in the last 2-3 years, and I wish that I had that person when I was in my early 20s, because things would have been so different now. And I just know that for a fact. That's even like for me, that, you know, God willing, when I have children, or I do this with my younger siblings, like I try and help them as much as possible in terms of like, even if it's a subject that I don't know and they know or they like, I would look into it and be like, okay, maybe, yeah, try and navigate it this way and da. Because I didn't have no one to do that for me back
Do they
in the
listen?
day,
Do they listen?
Do they listen when they want to? Or when shit hits the fan? You know what I'm saying? That's the only time, bro.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because when my nephews watch this, I'm so glad somebody else is doing something that I've tried to do, because it is that when you're a person, I know you've done a lot by yourself.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You've figured out your own equations. Like, you've literally like, all right. And then you realize how hard